I'm getting better with her, but my message to Blizzard is to fix the mechanic and make her thicker than a Snicker. Thank you. Um, I guess we've started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of Gaming Sagacity. My name is Michael, aka Freakweasel,
And I'm Brandon, aka Recon Viper.
and we always started out strong with getting to know us. Um, Brandon, 1 through 3.
That's getting to know us.
Yeah, getting to us. Give me a number between 1 to 3. Shoot out a question.
You made a tree fitty.
Tree Fitty. What game aged well and what game has not aged well?
What game has aged well and not?
I would say Fallout series has aged perfectly. It hasn't done anything to desensitize, I guess.
Desensitized.
Yeah. No one really ever talks shit about the Fallout series from the nature of aging poorly. I mean, it's a post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear 1950s style gameplay, so you know, I would say that the game that hasn't aged well would probably be like those old school Duke Nukem, Deadpool. I really don't think you could make one of those games right now. That's definitely
So when you say aged well, do you mean people still play the game or like you can go back and play it even though it's an old game? Like,
you can go back and play it
oh, that is really interesting.
because like if you were 27, how old are you? 26.
28 now, I guess. I
Okay,
found out
28.
yesterday.
I should have found out yesterday was your birthday.
No.
Oh,
I'm stuck on 27 for some reason. So Jazz is like, I think I was writing something and I said I was 27. She's like, no, you're not 27, you're 28. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay.
oh yeah, that's right.
I
Damn it!
completely
Don't
forgot.
age me. How dare you?
Yeah.
Um,
As far as a game that has aged well for me that I can go back. Oh.
because I mean, personally, there's so many games that I could go back and play it. I mean, yes, last night and today I'll be streaming Fallout 4 as my new single player campaign. That's a big one that I'm going back to is Overwatch 4 or Overwatch 4,
Overwatch 4,
Fallout
yeah.
4. Yeah, dude, they just keep going. They keep going forwards with these numbers. It's really weird.
I probably could go back and play Skyrim still.
Skyrim. Okay,
I could
I can
probably,
see
but
that.
honestly, like playing games like Elden Ring and stuff is like a similar experience, but better.
Okay, I can see it.
So like
It gives you that
I
medieval
have
fantasy
thought
feel.
about, yeah, I have thought about going back and playing Skyrim again though.
You should.
What about not? What game hasn't aged well for you?
Duke Nukem, Deadpool, those
Oh,
games.
that's what she said. Okay.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Those were games those games plus like, oh man, like
A game that I used to play a lot that I probably wouldn't be able to play again would be like the old Twisted Metals and stuff. Because I used to love
yeah.
those games, dude. I used to love some of those PlayStation 1 and 2 games. Twisted Metal, freaking. I could probably go back and play Crash Bandicoot, but
I don't know. There's certain games that like I played, but like as a kid, you didn't have time. So like all those old like RPG Harry Potter games,
yeah.
I
I think we
could
said that
not go
last
back.
podcast you were talking about. playing
Yeah,
by playing those.
I couldn't. I don't think I could go back and play those because it was one of those games that was like I sat there and I was like I'm not forcing myself to play it, but I'm definitely
Wait,
yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy got pushed back?
Hmm. I hate my life.
I thought that was like literally coming out next month.
Uh, no, it got pushed back. When did it get pushed back? It's February now.
I know. I literally was just looking at it not too long ago, and I thought it was coming out in November, December.
I think it was initially supposed to,
That's lame.
but yeah, I mean, I could go back and play like Harry Potter Quidditch, but I couldn't go back and play the RPGs,
Mm. Are you excited for Hogwarts Legacy?
dude. We talked about
Do
this
you
on the
think the
first
game?
podcast, but
Yeah. Do you think you do you think it's gonna live up to the hype?
um, I've learned to teach myself not to get hyped for video games anymore. Um, I think they could go a lot of different directions with it.
Mhm.
Um, but I could also one thing that I was thinking about once because I think about video games a lot is that what I wish they would do was make it a generational type video game where you play through it once and you have a second playthrough and you would play as your child and like you would play through it again. But this time, except for the first time, you play as, whatever the good side is. The second side, you can play as the Death Eaters. And then the third side, you're like, I don't want to do that again. And so I wish it would be like a generational thing. I understand why it wouldn't be a generational thing, but it would be cool if it was.
Interesting.
See, that's my creative mind working. My cogs in my head spinning around. What game hasn't aged well for you?
Isn't probably the Twisted Metals and
Twizzle Wells. Okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, those games. I mean, I could go back and play a lot of games. I'm just stuck on Fallout 4 right now. I've had the itch to play it for a while, and now I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. We're going. And then of course, Overwatch 2 is always going to be up there.
As a game that has aged well.
Oh no, just a game I'm playing right
Oh, gotcha.
now. We're gonna go back to doing the gaming segment where I make fun of video games.
You make fun of them.
Yeah, and video game companies. Speaking about video game companies, PlayStation blamed 2 million. The two blame. Oh my God, PlayStation blames their 2 million drop in PlayStation Plus. To the following, the CFO of Sony states it is because so many people were outside touching grass this summer along
That's what he
in
said.
quotes following up with it's also probably the lack of third party releases. um yes, that's the reason. No, not someone like Microsoft teaming up with, I don't know, another big name, probably something along the lines of like Twitch or something, and giving away 3 months worth of Game Pass if you gift 3 subs to somebody.
I saw that.
Step it up.
Yeah,
It's
I think
two
I
million drop in PlayStation Plus.
here's the thing about business that a lot of people who do successful businesses understand, and the people who don't understand this.
No,
If you don't provide enough value to your customers, they will cease your
drop it.
product. Yeah, like
They She tries to blame it on third party releases. What does that have to do with
I
anything?
mean, okay. In regards to typically per year, our the releases that come out are usually more than this year,
True, I can see
but
that. Okay, but at the same time, it's not like they haven't.
provide value.
Yeah, I know Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is part of like their PlayStation benefits plus thing or whatever. It's one of those games that you can just get for free if you buy the
As much as
if you
I
buy PlayStation Plus.
as much as I don't agree with what direction Blizzard has been going with their monetization, they know how to provide value.
Yeah,
If they want subscribers to subscribe for 12 months, they
they
do it
can.
well.
Yeah.
That's all PlayStation has to do is provide the value to their customers and they will come back.
The best part was that she made a joke blaming it on people touching grass this summer.
Nice.
I think that was a good little
Shouldn't
input
we
there by her.
shouldn't we be encouraging people to do that?
Yeah.
So
Outside is
how okay, this little tidbit philosophy kind of thing. How as a video game company you rely on people to sit on the couch and play video games. How do you encourage people as a business to go touch grass and provide value?
make a game like Pokemon Go.
Let's be specific to Sony here.
uh
Like how can you incentivize it and still provide value so to get them to subscribe?
creative mind working here. Create a virtual currency of walking. You go outside, you walk X amount, whether it's time or miles or whatever you
Sony could do
choose,
that.
and then sit there and be like, okay, these are our PlayStation products. You have a $5 PlayStation card, $10 PlayStation card. Ooh, you could sit there and do like, here's a PlayStation controller, and depending on how much virtual currency you have, you can they can make that work.
This is all companies have to do. They have to ask questions like this to progress, right? Because what happens is companies start to lose profits and they're like, what's going on? And then they start blaming things like,
How
oh,
could this
people are
be?
just outside in the summer. That's why, like, okay, how do you fix it? That's how my brain works. Instead of complaining about what's
Oh yeah,
happening, be like, okay, well, how do we adapt to that? That's what makes
they don't.
that's what's going to carry businesses into the
Hey,
future.
touching grass is for Chads. Okay, we're not Chads. You know who is a Chad? Henry Cavill. We'll get back to that later. Um, PlayStation also revealed their launch for their VR 2. Personally, I won't do VR since what happened with me and Steve, or Steve and I. But I can say with the $50 increase, that it's sitting comfortably at $550, which is $50 more than retail PlayStation 5s. Um, that's it's
And you need a PlayStation to play it, right?
to play it. Um, it might be absurd for right now, but personally, I think that with how cheapest VR headset has to be Oculus, and it's going up with the Oculus Pro, whatever. It probably is like absurd right now for $550, but it probably will be worth and probably the cheapest one later on in be it releases February something 2023.
If you're it depends on where how you look at it, right? If you're looking at it strictly from Sony, right? Not comparing it to anything else.
Yeah,
Releasing a headset that you can't play games on without the PlayStation for more than the console itself
true.
doesn't create value. But when you compare it to what Meta is doing with the Oculus and the
Yes,
Pro, right? It's still cheaper.
it
And
is.
you can do more with the PlayStation than you can with the Oculus.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I do like VR. but I don't think VR is gonna really pop. Probably within like without it being within like next ten
We've
years.
talked about VR on the podcast, right?
VR on the
Yeah.
podcast, yeah. We were talking about how long until because it was Game Pass and Oculus were teaming up, and it was how long until we have like a Halo VR and like a Doom VR and stuff like that.
I mean, that stuff
Um,
will probably happen, but like I said, for me, it's going to take a while to get the headsets into a place where I can play games like I can on a monitor.
yeah, because it's comfortability and FOV. That's gonna be the
Yeah.
biggest ones.
Like I know I'm a little more sensitive than most people when it comes to things on my head, but I think as far as VR headsets, there are very few people that can have that headset on and actually like play games, like, not
Yeah,
just like sitting down and watching a show or something, but like actually moving around and exercising that can't do it for more than like an hour, maybe two, before
okay,
they're like
Brandon.
before their
I'm
head.
just built different.
Yeah, you can play longer than that without like your head feeling like heavy and sore.
Yep, I'm still young.
Wow. Damn it.
You 27, 28-year-old, we don't know.
Whatever.
Uh, Speaking of Blizzard earlier, first Daddy Bastion, now Mommy May gets taken out of the game. They keep taking out all my mains for the game. That's why DPS is no more in my life. Now I just use an overpowered Mora and call it a day. I'm getting better with her, but my message to Blizzard is to fix the mechanic and make her thicker than a Snicker. Thank you. That
Okay,
is
before
it
we
for
before we
that's it for the gaming segment. That's it.
okay, before we go on to the next thing. Um what why did they take her out? I didn't actually read
May.
that. Yeah. Was it a
It was
glitch?
because she was able to glitch and like shoot players. From what I understand, it was either that they were able to shoot players like all like hella far away off the map, or it was she was able to get into areas that she wasn't allowed to be in.
Because I know before, I mean, when I last played Overwatch before Overwatch 2 came out, the one of the metas was to put Mei's ice wall on top of buildings and then put Symmetra's teleporter on top of it and teleport your whole team onto the point.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that is
but
that
they
why? Is that one of the
well
problems?
they have. Let me read it real fast. Um, May's Ice Wall ability has allowed the character to force her way outside the boundaries of various maps. This has allowed players using the character to exploit the bug to create invisible or invincible characters that can deal tons of damage, heal their allies, and never take damage from incoming fire. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, and then they go on to say about how Blizzard took away Bastion and Torbjorn earlier this year. But yeah, so basically, her ice wall ability was making it so that way, um, people were could not die.
What do you, as far as without Mei in the current meta, what do you think? Like, how do you think that's affecting the game right now? Or, I mean, I'm sure you've played. Like,
Um,
how has it been?
it's easier without getting slowed every fucking 5 seconds, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. The bigger part though, it's allowing people it's allowing people to sit there and do other characters they wouldn't normally do. And so one, that's a big thing for like skill gap because it's like, oh, I'm proficient with Mei, Bastion, and Tor, but I suck as Genji, Hanzo, and Sojourn. Let me just play those three. Oh, I can't even play a Sojourn. Oh, I'm doing a third of my damage that I normally would with Mei. Like it's obviously fucking up that balance of like, oh, I'm really good with this character. I can't play it. Um, but it also continues to the the point of like, I mean, look at Sombra. I mean, she can take down a Winston in one burst of her gun.
Mm.
It's it's crazy, and obviously that includes her hacking him and X, Y, and Z and whatever, right? But it's like I see where they're coming from with May and how they need to take out her for her ice wall ability. I think that they also should take out Sombra and fix her damage, or at least just update it so that way it fixes her damage.
I think
There's multiple things, the things that you could say. You could say that, Bastion, you can lower his damage. McCree, his grenade shouldn't be homing. It should just go back to the stun grenade. It's If you're looking at Symmetra now has it so that way if she's hitting her target, it powers up her charge over and over again, that she can do a team wipe in one gun reload. You can lower that, or just take that out of the game and give us back the teleporter as her ultimate. Like, there's just so many different things that personally I think that Mercy shouldn't have her ultimate that she has now, where she just flies around and goes wee. I think that she should have mass revive again. Um, I mean, I could go on a tyrant about it, but I don't want to.
after playing with a full team last night and going against a lot more pre-mades, um, there are way too many fast moving DPS that
Mhm.
can flank and like get away very quickly. Genji, for example, and there are especially now that there's not Mei, it is very hard to counter, especially if they have like high skill.
It's very hard to count it, especially with Kiriko too. I mean, Kiriko sits there and uh,
Like,
sits like
yeah,
sits there and does, yeah. Her getaway ability is ridiculous. Um, that she can just teleport through walls. I mean, I understand like that's her thing. But I don't think her damage should. I mean, we just watched. Obviously, it was Shroud. Shroud's a freaking aimbot, but even then, her damage should not be, and Moira's as well. Both of their damage should be a secondary damage that should not have. Basically, you shouldn't be out DPSing your DPS, and obviously there's skill to it comparative to different things. But at the same time, I think that her kunai do need a nerf. So does Mora's damage orb. Her actual damage, like hand, that's fine. But the orb itself, that I could just send it out. The only thing that can stop it is Diva's defense matrix,
and Genji,
and
yeah.
then and Genji's reflect. And if you don't have those two, then it just follows. It just ticks as you go back. I feel like that's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I don't get me
The
wrong.
meta
I
is
love
very
Moira,
it's all over the place right now.
hundred percent,
Like
and
it's nice because there's not like one character that overpowers everybody, which that's kind of it's a double-edged sword with me because I'm a little bit of a McCree player, and the flashbang was nice because you could, take care of a Pharah,
yeah,
you could take care of a Tracer, a Sombra, a Symmetra.
McCree or
So like in that
Genji,
a Genji, in that sense, um, Cassidy now is
McCree.
was overpowered, but at least there was a character in the game that could counter a lot of fast moving stuff. Like
Yeah,
he can in some sense now, but like uh Reaper. Reapers are so OP right now because there's
yeah,
nothing that counters him except like maybe Sojourn with her orb field thing that slows people
yeah,
down, but like it's so easy to get out of that.
yeah. All I have to do is shift, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, like I can't counter him with McCree anymore because he literally I stick him with the grenade and he can fade right out of it. I
Yeah,
honestly think at least with Reaper, his cooldown for his fade needs to increase. They need
yeah,
to
I could
increase his
see that.
cooldown. He's able to fade away way too often.
Yeah, it's every fight you get a fade,
Yeah.
and that's not including trickling in
Fade
of a fight
sometimes two fades.
if it's long enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. Um. Oh, they keep they
And
keep
they need
doing
to
this.
freaking increase the sound for his teleport. There are way too many times where I barely hear him coming, like literally just wipe the team because he's teleporting literally right behind me, and I don't
It
hear him until
could
his ult goes
be it,
off.
it could be worse. We could have the audio from Call of Duty. Just saying.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
It's as shitty as all the other ones are. I mean, Warzone. You played Warzone. You remember
Did
that
they
audio?
at the end of Warzone, or wait, is Warzone still up? Do people still play that, or are they waiting for
Yeah,
Warzone 2?
Warzone. Most people are waiting for Warzone 2, but Warzone is still up.
Okay.
Most people are still doing just Rebirth Island though.
Did they ever get rid of the silent feet perk thing that you can pick up?
No,
What's that
Dead
freaking called?
Silence.
Yeah, dead silence. Did they ever get rid of that in Warzone? They definitely should, because that is ridiculous.
It's yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's stupid, but I feel that the people can definitely use it to the advantage, but they could also, you know, I feel like they could just shorten it. That'd be fine. Use it
Yeah,
so that way
it's like 10
to
seconds or something like that, right?
yeah, to initiate a gunfight, not to actually go in and, you know, use it the whole like,
Yeah,
yeah,
wipe a
no.
team of four without
Yeah. And be
like
like,
nobody
where the
knows
hell
where
did he
he
come
is.
from?
Yeah.
You know. I think I'm good. Um yeah, that's it for the gaming segment for this podcast. We don't make the things up, okay? We just fuck it up, okay? I think that's gonna be our slogan. Just we don't make it up, we fuck it up. Um, New Fallout TV series is coming out. They started filming of it. I'll be honest, I didn't know about it till today.
I didn't even know about
Um,
it.
it sets base in Fallout or the Shelter 33, Vault 33. They introduced a image. The image is someone opening a vault. It's a shadow of a figure of a person that opened the vault, and it's two people that has vault 30 or just 33 on the back of their vault suits, and then it shows a big cog turning and whatever. It's made by Jonathan Nolan. Best thing he's known for is Westworld. That's who's making it. Um, the questions I have, because I have so many questions about it, um, they have a you know, the Fallout series is being made by Amazon, which also made the iconic Lord of the Rings series. And I don't remember if I ever got your final say so on how you felt about the Lord of the Rings series. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I
I
really
haven't watched
enjoyed
it
it.
yet.
It's the first like I would say 4 episodes are pretty slow, which is what a
Okay.
lot of people were complaining about. But
Yeah.
if you are invested in any uh Lord of the Rings lore at all,
Yeah.
it's really good. But at the same time, there are some things about the show that I had gripes about as far as like changing some of the lore. But from what I've read, I think I've said this before. Um, but they change or it's based on Tolkien's son's version of the Second Age. So like, and I haven't read his book, so I don't know how like
Accurate.
I don't know how close they stuck with the his book in that regard, but
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's really hard for me to say stuff because I'm not as critical as most people are with TV shows and movies. Like I read some reviews on really good movies in my opinion, and I'm just like I didn't care nearly as much as they did.
Nearly as much as you did. Yeah.
But I would say I would recommend to watch. It's a good show. It's very pretty as well.
As Amazon is, Big Daddy Bezos and has his money. The bigger portion for me specifically is we don't know exactly how much each episode's gonna cost. I know that Lord of the Rings costed a lot of money. It was like millions per episode, right? And that was like the first season, like initial.
If I remember right, it was $1 million per episode. Yeah, if I remember
million
right.
dollars per episode.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But at the same time, I don't know how much the Fallout series is going to be per episode. I hope they stick with about the same dollar amount, if not like maybe closer to like 3/4 of a million. I feel like that'd be a little bit nicer. Um, but my question is, how do we feel about this? Because it's Amazon's making the Fallout series. HBO picked up Last of Us. Like, what TV series are we going to see? Yeah, they are implementing a Last of Us HBO series that is
Is
set to
this
air.
is this the new trend?
I guess so.
We're
I
done.
don't
We're
know.
done making movies about books. We're going video games.
Well, I mean, you have to think now. There's like video games that are. I mean, imagine if they made a God of War movie. I mean, they basically are with how nice the graphics are for God of War and the storytelling is. How would we feel? Also, the guy that plays Joel is Pedro Pascal, um,
I've never played
which is
Fallout, so I don't know what you're talking about.
no, Last of Us.
Oh.
Joel from Last of Us, the main guy.
Yeah.
He's getting played by Pedro Pascal, which is the guy from The Mandalorian, Game of
Oh,
Thrones, Wonder Woman. You know him, Star Wars. Yeah, he's that's that guy. But they I don't early 2023 release. That's when they are planning on coming out with it.
interesting.
Um, they said HBO's upcoming original series gets an official release date of January 15th, 2023. Announced today, which was 2 days ago. Based on a popular video game, the series is debuted at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, then streams on 4K on HBO Max. So it premieres in January. Um,
Hmm.
what I guess the question is, what video game would you want to see as a TV series? Because they've made so many video games that are movies that
Ooh,
have just
and
downfalls.
I know what I would definitely. Well,
Because Amazon, I think it's Amazon, also came out with a Halo series.
I would really enjoy watching if they could put together a. Did you ever play Death Stranding?
No, I watched you play it on Twitch.
Okay. If they could do a Death Stranding TV show about what happened before,
Ooh, like the event
and
during the
then
event of that's actually
like
okay.
still make it from the perspective of Norman Reedus's character, but
Okay.
before everything happened, and
The
then
dude that made that
yeah,
game, the company that made the game is getting like buyouts left and right. Like people are wanting to buy that fucking company out from him, and he just keeps saying no. But he's getting some major offers.
Hideo Kojima,
Yeah,
Kojima Productions or whatever.
yeah, whatever it is. I was reading something. Don't quote me, but it was something along the lines of like 600 mil for the company.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, people really want that company and the brands associated with it. Um, I feel like, I mean, I could go multiple ways with this. I feel like if they made a like Far Cry 3 TV show, I could definitely watch that. I could also probably watch a World of Warcraft TV show. There's a lot to go into there. And
I
then
always enjoy, okay, you know how I feel about video games being made into movies, but
yes,
when
we've talked about that on the
when
podcast
a
before.
TV show or movie does magic really well, I really enjoy that stuff. I really
Yeah,
enjoy when the just the special effects and the post effects that they do to make the magic come alive. If it's done well, which is one of the things that I said about the Warcraft movie, I enjoyed that stuff. Maybe it's just superhero stuff that I don't like. I don't like when superhero video games are made into movies.
yeah,
With the exception of obviously the big ones like Marvel and stuff.
yeah. But that's more video. It's comic books into video games into
Yeah.
movies, but
Like the story doesn't translate, but when they make games out of superhero characters, I don't like. It's weird.
I
It's kind of weird.
I don't know. I'm really excited for the Fallout series. I think that it brings a lot to. I mean, imagine just sitting there, laying back, watching the Fallout series, right? And just imagine this. Close your eyes and imagine this.
I
You know.
I don't. I've never played Fallout, so I don't really
Oh,
know what to imagine.
okay, okay. Well, in Fallout 3, there's this guy named fuck, Big Dog, or some along the lines, and he was a radio broadcast host. And so, oh, Three Dog, that's what it was. And so it was that's what I named the dog threes initially after, and then
Mm,
I finally had three dogs, so I had something else to reference it. But
gotcha.
so he would sit there on the radio podcast and be like, "Oh, welcome to radio podcast. This is Three Dog. Ow!" And that's what would be in your fucking that was on your Pit Boy the whole time. Was just three dog, three dog, three dog, and he would sit there and like do his little news article and be like, now on to Freddie Mercury, and like play a song or whatever. um they had a lot with that series. I feel like it'll be good. I'm wondering, I just wonder where they're gonna, because every Fallout is set different places. Obviously Fallout 3 was Washington D.C. Fallout New Vegas was in Vegas. Shocker, I know. And then Fallout 4, the one I'm playing now on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Freakweasel. Um, the one I'm playing now, Fallout 4, it's set in like Concord area, so it's like,
I have seen a lot of Fallout 4 stuff.
yeah, you should come watch me today play Fallout. I'm gonna play Fallout after this. Um, but yeah, it's a Fallout. Fallout 4 is just set there. But I'm wondering where they're gonna set it. I hope they set it somewhere like random, like Texas or something like that. That'd be cool. But 1950s post nuclear warfare against China. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Um, I think it. I hope it stands up. If not, is at least a little bit less than Lord of the Rings. But should be good.
Nice.
Um, Speaking about superheroes and making them into movies, Superman, our boy Henry Cavill, the beloved. He's beloved for playing Warhammer, being classified as a nerdy superhero, as he played, or should I say, is playing both iconic Superman and Geralt. It's gonna be sad to see him leave as Geralt for the Witcher series, but he is getting placed by Liam's Hemsworth.
Do you know?
Um,
Do we know why he left?
because did you watch Black Adam?
Um, no, not yet.
Okay. Um, I don't know how to do this now.
What do you
I thought you watched
mean?
Black Adam. Um, spoilers, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of at the okay, so spoiler, everybody, skip whatever, probably like 10 minutes. Um, Black at the end of Black Adam post credit scene, um, the chick from Suicide Squad, I forget her name, like the headquarter chick or whatever. She
Mm.
basically sat there and she was like, "Oh yes, Black Adam, da da da." And Black Adam was like, bring your whole army. I can destroy him." And she was like, "We don't need our whole army. We just need one person." And the next thing you know, Henry Cavill as Superman came down and met him.
Oh, so it was a scheduling conflict.
So it had to have been a scheduling
Yeah,
conflict.
I that's what I guess because I think Jazz and I were watching something, or I was watching something, and we were talking about it, and I was like, it's probably most likely a scheduling conflict.
Well, he sat there and he said during an interview that he needed to focus more on Superman and that legacy,
Yeah.
but Geralt was always in the cards for him. He wanted to leave after season 2 of scheduling conflicts, but he pushed it out, and I believe he pushed out season 3. Um, so he said he's glad that he did it.
Are you a Witcher
But
fan? Like
I
video
am.
games?
Um, I it's one of those games that I watch more than I play.
Did you so you watched the TV series?
I liked it.
That's
I enjoyed it.
I haven't watched it yet.
I did enjoy it. Comparative to the game, I think the game's always going to be better. But
I
I
don't
mean, Henry Cavill does play a great Geralt.
yeah, yeah, if I had to say anything, even from the little stuff that I have seen, of course, he fits that. He even looks like him in the games.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not invested in that character for me to like really enjoy that show.
one of those shows
I
that
don't
it
know.
starts slow, but you'll definitely get it towards the middle part. Um, it's a good watch if you have nothing else to do. But
Yeah,
um, he also said that recently he's been playing a lot of a certain video game, closer to 4 to 6 hours a day when he doesn't have to film. Um,
such a
Total
nerd,
War
man. He's one of
Warhammer.
us. One of us.
Total War Warhammer.
Really?
I love that video game so much. He said that he's playing the campaign from 1 to 3, and 3 just came out, and it's a great video game. Total War series, I think they have so many opportunities to do so many different things. Um, one of the bigger ones is going to be uh I mean, if they can get it, Total War Star Wars. I mean, that would be God. That would be amazing. Um, I mean, they have Total War Rome, Total War Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, Total War. That would be amazing as well.
Ooh.
Take me back to Battle for Middle
If
Earth days. That would be great.
if they made a good Total War game for Lord of the Rings, I might play that.
That it would be amazing. The storylines. Oh, sorry. The storylines are there. Gameplay is there. Army control is there. It would just have to be a licensing issue at that point. But um, they do have Battle for Middle Earth Reforged, and I really hope um they start coming out with something here soon. Um, I'm looking to see whether or not they have any new news about it. Um, they put something out January 2022. Um, they awoken the Balrog, which that character they did the character model for the Balrog, and that man it looks he looks fucking crazy, bro. Um, God, he's like, you know, the Balrog. Balrog, he's on fire. He's a big flying monster that's on fire.
I'm a Lord of the Rings nut. Of course, I know what a
Well,
Balrog
of
is.
course, yeah. But so his back is on fire. Um,
Yeah,
and then his sword is on fire, but the rest of him just has this like black smoke coming off of him. It looks fucking sick. Um, they don't have anything really. I mean, they have the current progress, um, but it's just kind of them showing off models and whatnot. I really hope that they can come out with something soon. I really miss my Battle for Middle Earth. But yeah, Total War, Total War. Adios Henry Cavill from Geralt, and yeah, Superman. Hopefully on the horizon for a couple more movies, maybe.
I'm excited. I'm I actually liked Henry Cavill as Superman, so
How'd you feel about? Oh, never mind. You haven't watched it. God, I was gonna say how'd you feel about The Rock being Black Adam?
I from the trailers and stuff that I've seen, it looks good. Was it good? I've
It
heard
was
both
decent.
sides. I've heard people either hate it or like it, and that's just kind of a
I
world
feel
battle.
like
But
with the aura of The Rock and what he possibly could do for Warner Brothers and DC and all that, um, I feel like they could technically, with his hype, I feel like they could make their own MCU. I'm really hoping that they can. Um, but I mean, nothing will be to the degree of Marvel. I mean, the degree of Marvel is like through the fucking roof.
do we have time to talk about that?
Um, what time do you have?
We're about almost 50 minutes in. No.
Probably not. I only have one
Okay.
more subject
We'll
that we'll
we'll
probably end it
we'll,
on.
we'll bring that up
We'll bring
next
that up
time.
in the next one.
DC versus
Uh,
Marvel
d-
and like how Marvel
DC versus
movies
Marvel.
are going.
Yeah,
So
I'll write it down. Don't worry.
tune back in next time for Marvel and DC talk.
Um, well, we'll talk about this one last thing and probably wrap it up. People making their own esports events. Um,
I can tune in
I
about this because I've literally almost done it.
I have also almost done it. Oh, okay. This is fun. I like this.
Hmm.
Mine was Overwatch 2. What was yours?
Well, I think I've talked to you about this with
Oh,
my friend
you meant
Justin.
you making
We
yeah,
were making
you're
make a company that was going to host events. Yeah.
so I guess this is two different perspectives then. Because I did non-financial esports when Modern Warfare 3 came out, like
Yeah.
original Modern Warfare 3, and I played with my friends Jason and all of them.
Hmm.
And we would do like little things because Modern Warfare 3 had that mode where it was basically esports, just not like they would basically be Call of Duty would basically be able to make it go live or whatever. Um, so they had those, but I mean, for mine, I almost did a Overwatch event today, which was it was the so Owl is Overwatch League. Um, what are you talking about? Owl is a Overwatch League, and this one is AWL, which is it's basically Owl but for average players. Basically it's copper to gold or copper to platinum, sorry, for your placements, and he basically is making it so that way it's a one like it's his own esports event that he's like streaming and whatnot. Owl is invite only, OWL, the official one.
Hmm.
Um, YouTubers and Twitch streamers are making their own, whether it's Ludwig made his own Dr. Disrespect. I saw a clip. He said that he may be making his own. Um, Tim wanted to do stuff. Cloaksy wanted to do stuff with Call of Duty. Like, there's so many different things that people want to do with like their own. I mean, people have done it with Fortnite, Warzone. So many different things that with their Twitch streams that it's a popularity thing just for not only the YouTube streamer but for the gamer as well. Um, I think do you so this is my question, I guess. With all these because there's so many people that sit there and they do, X, Y, and Z. Do you think that no matter what game, there's going to be in quotes coaches that are going to watch these smaller events, like semi-pro events that aren't fully organized, and be like, "Oh, they found the next San Francisco Shock."
The only way that would ever happen is if it gained traction on social media. So I guess if influencers hosted it and they debuted players that were like really good,
Gotcha.
maybe, but not organically. They're
Not
not looking out for
organically.
that.
Okay.
They're looking for how you get noticed is either you're just really high ranked and you show up in just random videos or you have your own social media. That's the only
Yeah.
time that people actually get picked up that way.
Okay.
Why? Is that what you were
Uh,
trying to focus on or
yeah. It was just that people are making their own esports teams. Is like what is what is the possibility of even getting a little bit of traction from that YouTuber slash streamer in comparison to trying and do it the most organic way possible?
you probably increase your chances. I wouldn't say that you're not gonna get noticed. I'm just saying that like yeah.
Like that coaches aren't gonna be like sitting out in the stands being like, yes, this is the guy.
It's just like everything else, right? Like there are people get big with on YouTube or Twitch or something, and people they start getting noticed, and chatter happens, and they're like, "Did you see this? Did you see this guy pull off this thing?" And then a coach is like, a recruiter for the team is like,
Yeah.
"Oh," then they start noticing. It's just the same with everything else.
Complexity, here I come.
Yeah,
I moved to Texas and work with work under Tim.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
that would be. I've always wanted to be on a team, like
yeah.
competitive team of some sort like that.
So let's go from your perspective then. You were just gonna host esports, or were you going to?
I was pushing to have a team of some sort, but we were gonna be
Okay,
more like hosting like fundraised events for esports to bring like especially our local community in to like and be involved more in the community and bring people together to play games and win prizes and stuff.
gotcha. Okay, it
But
was more of an organization than anything.
yeah, the thing about it was there's rules.
There's a lot of rules.
Dude. So that's the whole reason why it never worked out was I think uh the CEO of the company that we were like my friend was like, yeah, it's just too risky. Um,
I mean, what kind of rules did you guys run into?
I actually have it up. What game do you want to know about?
Call of Duty. I think that's gonna have the most.
Where is it? Warzone. Okay, here we go. Uh, we that one's not too bad. That one you just contact Activision directly for a license needed to host the tournament. So that one wasn't like too hard to do. What was one that was more okay. So, League of Legends. Here's Riot's rules. Uh, Players and community organizers prize pool does not exceed $10,000 cash or $12,000 in non-cash prizes. Uh, it has to be a local event and no international people can play.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
that's pretty much, and that this is like mild compared to some of the other games. Like, uh, that's tier three. Tier two is endemic amateur leagues. Prize pool cannot exceed 50,000. Feeds directly into a tier one tournament. Continue to be involved in the amateur League of Legends scene, supporting NA talent development. Riot's contribution is official designation, limited IP rights. Yeah. And then tier one is. So this one wasn't even that bad, honestly. What was one of the bad ones?
Because I can only guess there's a lot of rules, especially I
Yeah.
feel like some of the rules that might have came up, I don't know the rules off the top of my head, obviously, but some of the rules that might have came up were like the like occasional like is this game really a game that you can play esports in? I feel like that would be like considered like Super Mario Brothers. It would be speed runs versus esports.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the things on my list too. And it is the same across the board for Nintendo. Nintendo's one of the strictest.
Yeah.
So I have need more research here. From what I read, there isn't a license needed to host tournaments. There just can't be an entry fee. Entry fee.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I have need more research probably because Nintendo is really strict with that stuff, and if they find out that you're doing something, like most likely, if there's big money involved, um, it can be bad.
They can just take it all from you. Just take
Well,
it
just
all.
they have because of how long they've been around and how big they are, it's really hard to fight legal stuff against them.
I could see that actually.
Just like Disney.
Fuck Disney. I said it. Screw them. Screw them all. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think that's calling it.
Yeah. Nothing
Yeah.
else. Nothing else to
I have
talk
nothing
about.
else. Do you have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so. I
Except
think
for being such a strong, supple young man. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed.
yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Outro music plays. Ba 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 da ba. Outro music plays. This will never get old.